Dear Dr. Morgan, I just returned home from meeting a veterinarian that is 100% opposite of your and my beliefs on my 5-month-old Cavalier Tilly. The only reason I went to her was it was the only clinic around that had the rabies vaccine that was thimerosal free. So that's that T-free rabies that we recommend because it doesn't have the mercury in it. My regular vet refused to get it, which I have a hard time understanding that. It costs like 20 cents more per dose, so I don't get it. And she's also like-minded, but not so forcefully. I was told by the new vet not to raw feed, to get her neutered soon, to put her on flea tick collar, and that Interceptor Plus was perfectly safe. I am shaking. Do you know of any veterinarians in my area, or can you tell me how to find a holistic veterinarian? I'm so upset right now after this veterinarian practically yelling at me about her food and pediatric neutering and chemically treating everything right and left. Thank you for your time. I listen to your Facebook talk every morning with my precious Tilly and a cup of coffee. My answer, how frustrating. I'm sorry. I hope you managed to get the rabies vaccine and run. So I recommended that she look on ahvma.org to see if there was anyone anywhere close to her. ahvma.org is the American Holistic Veterinary Medical Association, and they do have a vet finder on their page. And so she did that, and she said, well, found nobody even a bit close on the holistic veterinarian site. Called my local pet boutique that carries some holistic foods, and they struck out. And that's a really good place to search, find, the pet boutique that carries raw foods, that seems to speak a more holistic language, and see if they have anybody that they can recommend, because they usually have a pretty good pulse on what goes on in the different veterinary clinics in the area. And so this owner says, why is healthy so hard when it's so easy to understand? Just took out Puplo from the freezer for the weekend. So, it's tough, guys. I don't know why it's so tough, but it's frustrating, and it's frustrating for me too. I mean, even when we take one of our kids to a specialist or an emergency service, to have them berate you is really frustrating, and I don't understand it. I don't understand. I mean, maybe they just feel threatened, that you are acting like you know something they don't, or maybe you know more than they do, or, it's really you just know something different. And because they're not familiar with it, sometimes the best offense is a good defense. And, if you're not familiar with thimerosal-free rabies vaccine as a veterinarian and your client comes in asking for it, all of a sudden you go, how come I don't know that? What are they talking about? I should just tell them that it doesn't matter. And and you get other people who say, well, gee, I didn't know anything about that. So years ago, I had a client that came in and she said, her dog was painful and she'd been using Doggone Pain. And I said, what the heck is Doggone Pain? And we carry it now. It's DGP, which is an herbal pain relief. So it has, I know it has yucca and boswellia. It might have white willow bark. Can't remember the exact ingredients, but it's a natural anti-inflammatory and pain med. I had never heard of it. So instead of saying, well, I don't know what you're talking about, that sucks, it can't work, I said, can you bring that up on your phone so I can see what it is? And we carry it, and I've loved it ever since. So, it's better for us to learn from our clients than it is to become really defensive. I get pretty defensive when I've had 2 clients yell at me because I would not write prescriptions for Bravecto or NexGard. And I said, nope, not going to be responsible for your dog dying. Well, my neighbor uses it and it's perfectly good and their dog's fine. And, my dog's suffering with fleas and ticks and it's all your fault. And I'm like, well, a lot of other ways we can deal with that. And, so, I will put my foot down, but I put my foot down because I do have knowledge of the products. So it's a little bit of a different take. An educated consumer is so important when it comes to our beloved companions. Well, it's not only important with our companions, it's important for yourselves. every year, you know, my physician, I mean, I can be there for whatever. And every year it's, have you gotten your flu vaccine? Have you gotten your whooping cough vaccine? Have you gotten a tetanus vaccine? You know, and I get all the handouts and paperwork. And I'm like, no, I haven't. And I'm not going to do it. And then I get the 20-minute lecture on why I should. The last time we went to the dentist, I got the 20-minute lecture on why I needed to have radiographs taken of my teeth for the, I don't know, 700th time in my life. And it took a lot of doing to get them to take no as an answer. Hugh caved. You know, Hugh got the lecture, and after 5 minutes, he was like, oh, fine, just take the x-rays. And a lot of people cave because you're browbeaten, and they make you feel stupid. And
we'll be finding a new one.
Yeah, we are going to find a new dentist, actually. Yeah. So, yeah, the flu vaccine. Oh, gosh, you know. So, what did I go in for the other day? I went to the dermatologist, and they asked me if I had gotten the flu vaccine this year. I'm like, it's dermatology, folks. Check the bump on my face. I don't care about the flu. It's not flu season. Can we... I think they just absolutely have to ask it. I think it's part of the code of ethics for doctors. And I don't care if you're going in for a bunion on your foot. You're going to get asked if you had the flu vaccine. It's ridiculous. So if you're looking for other ways to treat flea and tick, please, please, please go to drjudymorgan.com. In the search bar on the top right, type in natural flea and tick. I have a blog. Those links should all be updated and active. That talks about all the different ways we can naturally prevent fleas and ticks. You know, we're still fighting fleas at our house, and I flea combed everybody this morning. Well, not everybody, half of them. And we're finding one or two. It's not like we're inundated, but it just makes me mad because, you know, I hear Stewie scratching, and I know that, you know, next thing he's going to be bald. So, anyway, so, you know, stick up for yourselves, stick up for yourselves, stick up for yourselves. It's really, really important. That my best story is I went to an urgent care place down the street from our clinic when I got bitten about 5 years ago. And I walked out of there for a prescription for a colonoscopy, all the vaccines, blood work, chest rads, EKG. I'm like, I had a bite on my finger. And I posted that in the clinic, and it was like 4 pages of stuff. And I posted it in the clinic, and I said to my staff, I would strongly recommend that you do not get bitten because you'll get a prescription for a colonoscopy. It's just...
Well, you must have had your head up your...
Oh, I had my head up my butt? I probably did. They probably decided they needed to see where my head was. Oh, man. All right.